So I've been meaning to do this for a while. One of my other videos was around this 14 to 24 f2.8 Nikon lens, probably my favourite landscape lens. One of the challenges you have with this is putting filters on the front, partly because the kind of oddly designed hood system. There is a thread on the inside here, but you won't be able to fit any filters on because of the nature of the front element on the lens here. So a previous video I mentioned about these Nisi holders, or the Nisi replacement hood. Suggest you have a look at that because this hood actually eliminates the light leakage. So one thing I found with the Nikon hood, particularly if the light was behind you, you would get light leakage through the gaps in the hood, and that would bounce off the filters on the front and then back into the lens, causing issues on your exposure and on your final image. So this metal hood created by Nisi eliminates that, so there's virtually no gaps, and is essentially a direct replacement, except without the gaps that you see in the plastic one around here. Pretty well stays on my lens all the time anyway, and the Nikon hood obviously fits over it no trouble at all. There's a 112mm filter thread in here, and that's again one of the other issues I kind of had with this. Was that, albeit a lot of the literature around these filters, these are Nisi filters, but this would apply to pretty well any manufacturer of these. You know, it's a big old piece of glass in the front here, which obviously makes it quite expensive. Albeit the literature will tell you can stack them. You can't, particularly if you're shooting anything less than 20mm. What I've found, if you double stack, so for example a neutral density filter and then a circular polarizer on top, unless you're beyond kind of 20mm, you're going to be able to see the filters in the edge of the frame, which is quite frustrating. So the other way around that was obviously to utilise square filters, using, again, this is a Nisi holder, just replaces this one, goes on there. You obviously can't have the hood mounted at the same time, and then that just takes your kind of conventional 100 by 100 or 100 by 150mm acrylic or glass filters, such as these. Now you can stack these quite a bit, but again, at some point you're going to see the filters in the corner of the frames at 14mm. So depending on the filter holder, such this one just takes 2. Even at 2 you're going to struggle. And then this one here was one I actually purchased for an 82mm lens, which is the 24 to 70 f2.8, the Nikon. This has actually got a circular polarizer built in. Again, this is a Nisi. Tend to get these when they're on offer, which tends to occur at different times in the year. This one's just got a little wheel in that allows you to move the circular polarizer around, but you can still put filters, your square filters, flat into that. This works really well, particularly at 82mm, but again, I'm shooting at 24mm, so you don't tend to see the filters in the outer edge of the frame anyway. That's obviously for a different camera lens. So I'll put that to one side. So one of the things I had done originally with this was I purchased obviously the square filters, but then over a period of time I managed to pick up some 112mm neutral densities, circular polarizer, and then just a UV which stays on the other lens hood. Just screw that on occasionally just to protect the front element when it's in storage. But apart from that, at the moment, the 112mm circular polarizer pretty well remains on this all the time. I'd seen these a while back, but never actually found any in the UK. So these fit in the filter holder on the rear of the lens. And I think if you actually look, let's grab my glasses. So this is the plastic mount that I've unscrewed out of the 14 to 24. So this is the original Nikon, and there is actually space in there to take filters. I don't think anybody's ever made any, partly because to actually fit them in, you're going to have to actually bend them, so they're going to have to be made of a flexible plastic, and getting them in and out is probably problematic. This is a plastic adapter, I suppose. It just goes into the kind of rear of the lens. So this is the one that I've unscrewed. So this is the original Nikon one. So the kit comes with a set of screws. Obviously, I've taken the Nikon screws out and put the screws that came with it in. A screwdriver. You get a little plastic card. I've actually written what comes with it on the back. And then a set of filters, which I'll show you in a minute. But if I open the back of the lens up, you can see as it stands, let me just get rid of this. So as it stands, I'm hoping this is focusing. You can see where I've screwed the replacement bracket in, which is supplied by the manufacturer. It's actually metal. It's really well made. And then you remove 3 screws, which is, well, you just follow the instructions. There's 3 screws to remove from the thread, and this literally just slots out. I mean, I was paranoid when I did it, but it's clearly a replaceable part. All it does is protect the electrics on the inside. So obviously you can see into the lens, but it's a cosmetic piece of plastic. But what this one has, as you can see here, is like this little lever mechanism, and then at the moment I think I've got an ND64 in there at the moment. So the great thing about rear mounting your filter is you do not get visible filters appearing on your final image, even at 14mm. So this, as this is set up at the moment, I've got a neutral density all the way at the back, and then my circular polarizer all the way at the front. Because I use this a lot for landscapes, particularly water, slow-moving water, to get some nice motion into the water with the rest of the image remaining sharp. I don't tend to take that out, and I don't tend to take the circular polarizer off. So again, like I said, it's a 112mm circular polarizer, and this one's from Nisi, and that does screw straight into this Nisi metal hood. And again, as I showed you earlier, you know, that can come off as it is, with the filter attached, and obviously the Nikon hood still fits over the top. So anyway, back to that. So you can see clearly in there how that's mounted, and then inside the box there are a number of filters, and these are glass. They're quite delicate, so one of the things I've always been worried about is obviously changing these in the field, hence the reason why I tend to leave that one permanently in the camera. So they're not that delicate, they're pretty tough, but I'm more worried about like kind of dropping them or scratching them, like I said, particularly in the field. So the easy way to remove them is you just literally move this lever all the way down to the other side, and then the filter will literally just drop out. So you can get your replacement out. They are all kind of labelled up. So again, you can get your replacement out, pop the filter into the top, drop it into place, slide the metal lever over that stops it moving around, and your ND filter is in. No fingerprints on that one, thank goodness. So that setup gives you your ND filter at the back, your circular polarizer at the front, and even at 14mm, you don't have to worry about seeing the edges of the filter in your frame. Now, what I haven't done is stack any more because I haven't really found any need to. But if you wanted to, you've got your ND filter now at the back. There's no reason why, you know, you couldn't remove your circular polarizer off. You know, if you wanted, and then put you know, a conventional 100 by 100 or 100 by 150 mil square filter holder in the front, so you've still got your neutral density at the back, but now you can stack two square filters at the front. I think over a period of time I've accumulated a number of different types of filter systems, never really settling on one that I was happy with. I was actually quite lucky with this, because I actually found somebody selling it on eBay, so I managed to pick it up relatively cheaply. But I can, you know, if you are buying this lens and you plan to use it for landscapes, which is pretty well what it is designed for, or you know, ultra wide angle, and you plan to use filters, then you are going to struggle if you mount more than one filter on the front, and it doesn't matter whether you're using square filters or screw filters, you're going to have the same issue. So rear mounting them is a really good idea, and it's possibly why Nikon actually put that little slot in, albeit I haven't actually found any filters that go into this. So this third-party manufacturer has provided that, and you know, like I said, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That's the name of the company. You can probably get them off eBay or even Amazon, I would imagine. So it comes with ND8, ND16, ND64 and ND1000, so that's 3-stop, 4-stop, 6-stop and then 10-stop glass filters that are inside this little case. And then out in the field, if you are going to change them, then you've just got to do it very carefully. You'll probably do that over your open camera bag, so if anything falls out, you can capture it. Or try and set it up before you go based on light conditions that you see. So yeah, I end up carrying a fair bit of stuff with me now, particularly from filters, because you've got adapters for everything. Then you'd need the adapters to get it from 82mm to 77mm for some of the other lenses. This lens is pretty unique because it's got 112mm, so things don't tend to fit it particularly well, so you have to buy bespoke. So as it stands, I don't think I'm probably going to use these 112mm kind of glass filters that I've had for a long while now. You know, that's an ND1000, partly because I've now got an ND1000 in this tiny thing that now fits at the back of the lens. So apart from the circular polarizer, this one, which is absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's absolutely flawless. I can't see any other reason for screwing filters to the front. So, well, I hope that was useful. I'm hoping somebody finds it useful, because it's been quite frustrating trying to find something that matches up with this. It also means I don't have to carry as much in the field, because I potentially don't need to carry that. I probably don't need necessarily to carry the square filter system all the time either, albeit inevitably I tend to stick everything in my bag, and then obviously a whole range of various glass filters in here. So right, well, I hope that was useful.